This video is made possible by the lovely people over on my Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the channel or you want to get your hands on some awesome high quality STLs, then please visit patreon.com/Will at Heroic Studios.
Have you ever gotten an opportunity to make a helmet for somebody, but they told you that their head was like 22 inches round? You don't know how to scale a helmet with the round. I can only scale it X, Y, and Z. Well, how am I supposed to do that? Well, folks, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to get the perfect fit on any helmet that you're making for either you or somebody else. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need is a pair of head calipers. Wow, head calipers. I know what you're saying. I don't know where to get head calipers. Chill out. You have a 3D printer. You can just print you some head calipers. That's what I did. I went over on Thingiverse, I pulled out some head calipers, and I went ahead and I printed them out. And they look a little something like this. Hit it! Now, make sure you do get a pair of calipers that is big enough to size your head. These are not big enough to size the depth of my head, but I did my best. You want to make sure that you do measure the width, the height, and the depth, excuse my hat, of your head to make sure that you are getting the right numbers. Make sure you do it efficiently, and make sure when you do measure, you are holding that position, because the next step would be to take a ruler or a measuring stick and go ahead and measure the gap in between. Simple as that. Now, you don't need head calipers per se. It just makes the process a bit easier. You can go ahead and use a tape measure or a simple ruler to measure the width of your head. Normally that takes 2 people to do, but if you're fine with how that works, great. Both of these have aspects of human error in it. You're not going to get a perfect measurement using calipers. You're not going to get a very perfect measurement using a ruler. As stated before, calipers just makes it easier to kind of see how big your dome is. And I have a pretty big dome. Now, once you have those measurements, make sure you do write them down, because I have tried to remember my numbers and it didn't work. Write them down, okay? Because we are going to need to do some conversions going forward. All right? Now that you've done that, let's go on to the next part. By the way, the calipers that I use will be in the description. I got them from Thingiverse, so go ahead and use them if you think your head is that big. All yours. Now, the next thing, we're going to use a program called Mesh Mixer. It's actually a slicer, but it's used to kind of mess with STLs and kind of model them a little bit differently. You can cut them up to make them fit your print bed, stuff like that. Very, very useful program. I particularly don't use it for slicing, but it does come in handy if I need to cut a helmet or break some parts up to make it fit my print bed. So open up Mesh Mixer and you're going to see a nice little button here. By the way, if you don't have Mesh Mixer, you can go ahead and look at the link in the description to go ahead and get that download. It's free to use. You don't have to pay for it. Go for it. Now, when you open it, you want to open up a sphere. Just open up a regular old sphere. And then from there, you're going to go to input a primitive. A primitive is a basic shape. Usually they have like squares, triangles, spheres, stuff like that. But we want to actually go to a more sophisticated primitive to bring in a actual head. That sounded dark. So go ahead, import this head, and you're going to get a tiny head that is an inch by an inch by an inch. And this is where those numbers are going to come into place. Now you need to convert those measurements that you took, which I'm assuming are in inches, and you need to convert them to millimeters. Math. I know, you have to do math. But don't fret, your boy here knows how to do that. You're just going to multiply whatever your inches are by 25.4. You're going to get a number probably in the high hundreds, low 200s, depending on the size of your head. So go ahead and multiply each of those numbers by 25.4. Now, I don't go by X, Y, and Z dimensions because Mesh Mixer actually uses those dimensions differently. Sometimes the Y is the depth, and sometimes the Z is the height, and sometimes those are reversed. The only thing that's absolute is the X value, which is the width. So I usually go by color. X is going to be the red arrow, Y is going to be the green arrow, Z is going to be the blue arrow. And you'll see what I mean when we bring in whatever STL you are editing here. So go ahead, do the conversion, and insert those values into those areas, and your head is going to grow. Now you have a size of your head. Perfect. Now on to the next part. Mesh Mixer has a pretty cool feature to where if you're trying to make a helmet that comes in multiple parts, you can import each part and it'll actually assemble it for you. So when it comes to moving the part around or scaling it up, which we're about to do, you're going to do that all at the same time. So there's no guessing and checking trying to make sure of all the parts are going to fit together. They're going to do that automatically because Mesh Mixer knows exactly how they're supposed to fit. I don't know how they're supposed to fit, but they fit. So go ahead and open up your file, go to import and import your helmet. In this particular case, I'm using my Gold Ranger helmet that I just released on my Patreon. If you guys are interested in getting that file, go ahead and visit my Patreon, link in the description. Insert all the parts. So I'm inserting the main helmet piece and then I'm inserting the visor. And that visor, as you can see, just popped right into place. Now, before we move our helmet into place, we want to make sure that all the parts are moving together. After you've inserted each part is going to move separately. So in order to make sure that your helmet is one piece, select both parts using your control button and a little window is going to pop up. You're going to see an option that says combine. Click that and Mesh Mixer is now going to combine all those parts together into one part. So that way you can move it around as one part and scale it as one part as need be. So once you have all those parts in, rotate your helmet upward, make it face front, and then you're going to move it in position of your head. So go to the top view, move it over, go to the front view, move it over, go to the side view, move it over, and look at all the different angles to make sure that your head is fully inside of the helmet. If you need to do a invisible toggle view, X-ray view, I don't know what they call it. Go to view and go to toggle visibility, and that'll give you where your head is positioned on the inside. Once you see it, and if it's not 100% where you want it, untoggle the visibility and move it back in place and just kind of go back and forth and check and make sure that your head is sitting exactly where it needs to be. Now, from there, what you're going to do is start meshing your helmet and making it fit around your head. You can do it with the values that we played with before, or you can just grab the square that's above the arrow and start slightly stretching your helmet out and making it fit around your dome. Okay? Now, when you're measuring, you want to make sure that your ears are accounted for. Sometimes people have very sensitive ears, and you want to make sure that your helmet isn't pressing up against them too hard because that hurts. So make sure that your ears, if you're one of those people, are inside the helmet too. So when you put it on, there's no scraping of PLA against your ears because it's not comfortable. Okay? So once that is all done, you are set to go. Once you've scaled that helmet and it is ready to go and it looks like it's going to fit you perfectly, now what you want to do is select the helmet as a whole. You want to go to edit and you want to go to separate shells. This is going to remove all the combinations and revert them back into their separate parts. So now you've just scaled all the necessary parts of that helmet at once. Didn't need to do any guess and check. If it looks like it's going to fit on your head, it is going to fit when you actually print it and put it on. All right. Now, when you're done, if you need to cut the helmet, go for it. And here's a neat little trick. Before you go ahead and start exporting everything, do a plane cut. That is also an edit. Go to edit, go to plane cut, and it's going to show you the cut of the helmet in specific directions. And you can see where your head sits inside the helmet with that split cut. This is very, very useful. Instead of going to toggling visibility 9 or 10 times, just go ahead and use this feature here to see where your head fits. See how much relief is on the sides of your head and on the top and on the depth of your head. So that way you understand that this is how your head is going to fit inside the helmet. When you're done with that, if you need to cut your helmet into parts, like a back part or a front part like I'm doing, make sure you do that, and you can use that doing the plane cut. Just go ahead, cut one part, export that part, Control Z, do the other half, export that part, and then do Control Z to bring the helmet back together. Also, make sure that you are saving your head mesh, because if you do print something and you forgot or it doesn't fit right or you made an error, you can go back and edit your mesh to make sure that it's going to fit the second time around. So that way you're not wasting material, you're not wasting time. Make sure you do save that mesh. You can just open it up and go ahead and edit it out. So that is it. That's pretty much what you need to do. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the video. Real quick, real simple. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys are out there printing some awesome helmets and some armor. Speaking of armor, Mesh Mixer does have primitives for arms and legs. So if you want to go ahead and use your calipers to measure how thick and wide your leg and arms are to fit on gauntlets and stuff like that, Mesh Mixer can do that for you. So go ahead and do the same process that I just showed you right here, and you can build yourself a whole freaking suit if you want. And it'll fit custom to you, and that's the best part. It'll only fit you and only you. And so there you go. So special shout out to my Patreons, which are right here. Go ahead and check out my Patreon if you're looking for some STLs to print. I mainly do Power Ranger STLs, weapons, props, cosplay, armor, all the fun stuff, as well as statues for resin printing. Make sure you do subscribe and like the video, share, comment. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I am here to answer all of your wavering questions. So until next time, folks, I will see you in another video, and I will see you, I don't know, around, I guess. I don't know. It's early. I need my coffee. Take it easy, folks.